my channel. Today it is the YouTube hop for True North, which is Traci's newest collection. It's perfect for coastal or tropical beaches, and there's an amazing array of illustrations of boats and whales and boat houses, and although I'm calling that one, although it is a boat house, I'm going to use it on a layout probably for a beach hut. There's tiny little crabs. Oh, let me find the little crab to show you because he's so cute. There we go, tiny little crabs. Lovely, and lots of beachy sayings, but also, if you're not a beachy person, as Traci says, True North also has nods to finding your true north and blazing your own path and staying true to who you are. So, something a little bit different for this hop from me today. I'm actually going to be making some embellishment clusters with some bits that I've pulled out here. So not obviously part of Traci's release, but I've got some tulle here and some sequins, but then everything else is paper that I'm going to use. I'm going to make a couple of these paper ruffly type ones. This one I've already folded the paper and I want to machine stitch it, which I'll do in a mo. I'm going to make another one, but I thought I'd fold it to show you how I create it. And then I've also used a hexagon die to cut out a couple of hexagons from one of the Traveller's Notebook papers, because on the Traveller's Notebook papers, the pattern is obviously reduced down, so you get more of the pattern on your embellishment. And I've chosen the hexagons because there are some pre-printed hexagons in the collection, which I really like. And I liked this, life's a beach, keep rolling with the waves. I like that saying on that one. So I thought I'd go with some hexagons. And in fact, when I do one of my layouts a bit later, actually no, I think for the release, so you'll have seen that before you see this hop video, you'll see that I've used hexagons for that. But I'm actually doing the embellishment clusters today, so that I can then create my layouts. But there we go. So what I shall do now is I shall pop you on fast forward. I'm going to fold this one, and then I can take both of these to the machine and machine them and then put everything together. So I will see you in a moment. So here I am showing you how I concertina fold the paper to make my paper ruffles, and really making a complete mess of it. But what I do, I can never fold them so that I've got the middle bit raised on the top. So I always fold it like this, and then I turn it over and recrease it the other way. And that way I get the larger piece as a top fold rather than an underneath fold, which you'll see in a minute. And you can see there that the middle piece there is at the bottom with the layers over the top, the folds over the top, and I'd want it the other way around. So I just flop the paper over and do it the other way. I have a mental block when it comes to creating these as to the way to fold them, and I'll sit there and I look at the paper for well, I'll say hours, it's not hours, it's minutes. Can't work out how to do it, start folding, and always end up with it the wrong way. So I've just decided to do it the wrong way, flip it over, change the creases, and then you get it like that. So having folded that one, as you can see, I then went over onto the dotty paper to do the same with that. And with the narrower piece of paper, I am actually going to cut fishtails into each of the ends. I decided not to cut fishtails into the bottom bits of paper there, but you could easily do fishtails into those as well. It's just a personal preference, and I decided on this occasion not to. Now the papers I'm using here are from, I've actually printed out Traveller's Notebook signatures because they were the perfect length to fold, and that way you're not actually wasting any paper, because you're not having to print out a whole sheet of either 8.5 by 11, or if that's letter size, I'm not quite sure, or A4 size, or even 12 by 12. So having folded those, I took them over to my machine and stitched them. One of them I stitched through twice, and the other one I just did once and then trimmed the ends. And here I am putting the first cluster together. I had already sorted out how I wanted to make these clusters, and you can probably just see there me fiddling with my iPad. I took photos of them before I took them all apart, so I knew which bits to put
with which cluster, but I started making this one and had forgotten that I'd done that, and then oh yes, so went back to have a look what I wanted to do. I had to include one of those little crabs. The little crab is one of my favourite icons from this collection. So that's the first one. They really don't take much time to put together, these clusters. Once you've got your foundation there, it's just a case of choosing the embellishments you like and layering them up. So I've got here one of the little journaling spots again, a boat, and then I've got the star in the circle, and which is supposedly like a compass points, and the single 5-point star. And you'll see here, I was planning on using the one with the circle, but I decided to go with just the normal star in the end. Now you could raise some of these bits up on foam pads, which you'll see I do on a couple of others later on. Here I am trying to stick that circle underneath, so it just didn't look right. So I went with the star, and in fact I think what I'm doing here is putting some foam pads on the back of that star, but I can't see because yes I did and sticking that onto the embellishment cluster there. So now we come to the hexagons, and with these ones I wanted to use some of that tulle. So first of all I'm just showing you which stickers I want to use. So I want to use the whale and a shell, and then with this one I wanted to put the tulle behind the hexagon, just as as a layer beneath it. So I cut it roughly to size, stitched it round. I'm not sure I've stitched it here at the moment. Yes, I stitched it, and this one I've put the tulle on the front because I'm going to make that into a shaker pocket. So back to the first one, which has got the tulle behind it, just adds a little bit of extra interest in the layers there. And then using my glue to stick the blue check hexagon on, and that's one of the stickers, which is why I chose hexagons, because though there are hexagons in the sticker pack. And then I put some foam, this is just children's craft foam, cut that up and stuck it on the back of the whale to give a bit of dimension there. Although it's pink, you can't see it, doesn't show, so I just use whatever colour I've got. I do like to use some glue with this rather than my tape runner, because I find it just sticks a bit better. So sticking that down, it doesn't take very long with that Nuvo glue to stick, and then popping in the shell just as a little bit of extra there, and then another one of the word phrases along the bottom, and that's another embellishment cluster done. You could always add more to this by adding some sequins or some enamel dots, but I just left it as it was. This one I am going to make into a shaker pocket. I've got some various sequins here out of my stash. So I added the sequins in and then stitched along the top to close it. And then I've got just one hexagon with a phrase on it, which I wanted to attach to this pocket, and I decided to use my tiny attacher for that. Just one, thought about 2 staples with just one on the top, and that's that one finished. So we're nearly at the end now, and this one I decided, it's one of the journaling cards, and I decided to use it to make another sequin pocket. So I grabbed my tulle again, and I just want an oval, but I decided the way to do that was just to cut a chunk of tulle off, hold the tulle in place, and then just trim round. Once I'd done that, took it over to my sewing machine, stitched round sort of 3/4 of it, and ended up with a hole at the top to put the sequins in, which I did. Popped the sequins in, gave it a shake, really liked how it looked, and then realised that they were falling out of the side because I hadn't caught it properly. So I had to take it back to the sewing machine and do a little bit more stitching. And here I am showing you how I then pull the thread through to the back and knot it so it doesn't come unravelled. So there we go, that's all that done. I think this is where I shake it now and see that the sequins are coming out, so I have to go back to the machine and stitch it again. There we are, it's all in. So I like this little sequin mix here, which is one I've made up myself. It's got some shells in it, a little bit of pink and a couple of blues. Needed to stick the boat on, and of course the tulle's on the top, and I didn't think that the Nuvo glue was really going to stick, so I grabbed my husband's glue gun and used that to stick the boat on, which also gives a little bit more depth to it as well, raises it up a little, and use that also to stick the star behind the boat and the bird up at the top, which although there wasn't much tulle up there, I decided I might as well keep going with the glue gun as I'd got that out. And then I've, just as a finishing touch, another one of those little shells to go in behind the sailing boat. So there we are, that's that embellishment done. So I gave that bit of a shake, make sure everything's secure, and just add a tiny bit more glue to the top there, just to keep that top of that boat in place. And turn off the glue gun. So while I'm showing you the completed embellishment clusters, just to remind you, this is a YouTube hop for True North from Traci Reed. There is a list of all the participants in the description box below. Do hop over and see what the other talented creative team members have created today. And do keep an eye on Instagram to see what I use these embellishment clusters for. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please give me a thumbs up. If you don't already subscribe, I'd really appreciate it if you did. And if you want to leave a comment below, please do, and I'll get back to you. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.